All right. Our next finalist up for interview is the coffee diva herself. It's Jessie Precieuse.
Yeah.
Hope I said that right.
I think you did.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien? Et
French.
tu?
I just started French on Duolingo. Bilingual queen.
Hey, I did French immersion, so I can speak French.
You're also from Canada.
That is
Sorry,
true.
I just have important diva things to do, which means telling Weebee, yes, we call in 30 to an hour.
Okay. Call the
The
lawyer.
divas are
The
chatting.
divas are chatting.
Yes.
They're chit-chatting.
You're asking
Okay,
for your
great.
cut of
Are you good now?
$25.
Sorry. She's the winner. She's very high maintenance now. She's like, oh, call me. Oh, talk to me. Oh, please, let's talk. Like, calm down, bitch. You're going to have a year of rain. Let me have my 15 minutes of glory and thank you.
Yeah. She already got her interview.
She
but
did.
yeah.
We did our interview with her
Not just
earlier
an
today.
interview. She got 25K plus 2.5K plus $750 worth of bras plus $1,000 worth of that boy. What did she want during the makeup challenge? I don't remember, but that's another thing. Do we have
Carry
something
the
else?
1, add
All
the
the
0,
things. She won so much.
divide by 2. I'm bad at math.
Period. A lot of things.
I think it's like over 3,000. I don't know.
She won more than the winner of All Star 7 of Drag Race.
But that's enough about Weebee because we're here with you. So we want to ask you some questions about just your drag in general, but also obviously about the show. So going into the general drag questions, how did you get into doing drag?
Oh my god, I started doing drag because you need to know that first of all, I'm very, very bad with my hands. A trauma when I was 4 or 5 years old. And since then I was like, I cannot do anything with my hands. And so when I started to do TV, that's why I thought, it was like nothing to do with the hands, let's use the mouth. So when I started to do TV, they were like,
multiple situations.
You're the one who said that. I'm a very sensual person, very poised, not kinky at all. You all saw that on the show. Thank you. What I'm saying is that when I started doing TV, they were like, you start at 5 a.m., so let's not hire anyone to do your makeup, do it by yourself. Like, okay. I tried, and I was like, this is very nice. I love that. And one day I woke up and I was like, I need to understand more than just foundation and contour. Let's call a friend. So I called my friend. She bought me a palette, the infamous Morphe James Charles palette that everyone bought at that time. And I will say that I experimented. Okay. If you dabble in my Instagram somewhere, very, very like it's hidden, so it's there. You're gonna see what I mean by I was exploring.
Me too.
Honestly, I feel like everybody has that.
Yeah, and then we can all thank the pandemic. Yeah, the pandemic was there to just tell us, take your time, perfect your face, don't go there like this, you look like shit. Thank you.
Stay home.
I'm not hiding. I had a beard. I was like, my name was fucking Jessie Dextra.
Sorry.
Like, great thing they never casted me last year because I would have been the El Alamour of the season, which means I would have went home very fast.
Oh god. Well, you made a stop for this time, so.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you auditioning twice. So what made you audition the first time, and then what made you audition again?
Okay, this is a funny story. My best friend Victoire, who's also the one who sketched the iced coffee cup, she sketched the first look, she sketched a bunch of things. She's my best friend, and she's a drag performer, obviously. And the first season, production reached out to her on Instagram. And they never reached out to me. And she was like, Jessie, is this legit? So like with my little background, I was like, yeah. And then I found out that it was nice, it was okay, it was legit. I was like, let's just try it out. We never know. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna try it together. We'll do it together. And then I signed up and she did not. I was like, you bitch. And she always does that. She's always like, oh, Jessie's gonna do it, and if it's nice, I'm gonna do it after.
Call her out.
Guinea pig.
I'm the tester.
Yeah, the guinea pig. Yeah.
And then I didn't want to audition this year. I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm a very strong instinctive person, and I was like, no, I don't feel it at all. And then they sent me an email. I'm pretty sure it's a generic email that everyone who tried the year before. But I was lying in my boyfriend's bed, and I was like, I feel like I should do that. I have a feeling that even though I don't want to do it now, I feel like I should do it. So I looked at my boyfriend and I said, that's it, I'm doing it. Everyone was like, why? You said you would not do it. I had a feeling and it worked.
The feeling was correct.
It was.
Yeah, and I was peeing before the last viewing party, and my feeling was that I was losing, and here we are.
Oh my goodness. Well, going back to the beginning of the competition, obviously, you take your first steps out onto that set and you see all of the people. What were your first impressions of both the set and your fellow castmates?
I was sure I was going on a proper TV set. So when they dropped me at the curling arena, I was like,
Yes.
what the hell is that? Because, like, I was very scared at that point that all my experience in TV will play against me, because I was like, I'm going to know where all the cameras are. I'm going to know everything that's happening. And I think it can be playing against me. So at that point, I was still nervous about that. So every little things like this, I was like, oh no. So I really wanted to be immersed and like in a, not necessarily in a real TV set, but like maybe not seeing the scoreboard of the curling game next to me when I'm walking the runway. So that's more of things like this.
Not the curling game.
You know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be so concentrated. I know what I'm doing, blah blah blah. And then you turn around, and in front of you, it's not even the judges. It's a huge ad of someone who sells houses. Like, I'm not feeling on a TV set at all.
Need a minute. It's a real
That's
thing.
a good one. I like that.
Oh my god.
That
You
was
hear
my
that
first
production?
impression. But in the end, it's fine. Like, the goal on a TV show is not to surprise and to make it for people who are on the show. It's to surprise and like you guys who are watching it. So you never saw those scoreboards and everything. But for us, I would have felt more concentrated, more there. I think if I was more in like a neutral environment. Let's say that. So that's for the set. And the cast was, the funny part was I was next to Pepper in the cubby, like everyone talked about that, you know what it is.
Yeah.
But the only thing I was seeing was her, and you know Pepper is like already 6'2" or something, like she's very tall. And I see these huge boots, the one that she wore on the reunion, it's like huge heels. I was like, who is that? And then she would drop everything on the floor, and I was like, I'm not the only clumsy here. Nice. Who are you? And I was not expecting to go out of my cubby and see this gigantic person. I was like, oh, hi. And that's where I fell in love with Pepper. And then we waited to go in the mothership, and I was next to Maya. So, like, that's where all our little connection started. And I was very surprised when I saw the cast first, because I was the only one from my fandom. And Kings here right now are thriving. Like the big competition in Montreal, they won it the last 3 years. So I was like, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Montreal King here. And in the end, the only king there was on the first episode was Barbada with a donut.
Oh.
the
And Barbada's lace.
the donut.
The donut on the face.
Yeah, what? I mean, we love Barbada.
We do.
What was that?
What was that?
I love Barbada. I understand her mind, her brain. So it's like, of course.
So speaking of mothers, we obviously get to Adoption Day, and Crystal clacks her fan for you. If you could pick either of the House of
Oh,
Glass.
yes.
Which, by the way, Crystal, DM me. I know you're not listening to this, but DM me. If you could pick either of the two other houses, which one would it be and why?
Barbada, and I went by elimination when I chose because I don't know, it's easier for me. And Peppermint was always out of the equation because like I love Peppermint, she's iconic and like she could bring me things, but not the things that I would want. Like I honestly, and honestly, I don't think she would have, like, there's no way she would have tagged her fan for my airy legs. Like, no way. I'm not the kind of person she's gonna choose. It's all fine. I knew Barbada or Crystal will be the one who will tag probably the most. And I was 14th on 15. So when I performed, there was only King Chella left, and there was only one space left in every houses except Crystal at 2. And I'm probably sure they decided to go out with one empty spot in the last round. So I was like, when Crystal Clag Barbada said that she would have Clag 2 if she had a space. But I think in that situation I would have still chosen Crystal for trying something new. Like Barbada and I are close on a bunch of different things. Like we both host. We are both like out of our minds. We love craft and everything. Blah, blah, blah. So I was like, that's where I'm the most confident. So I'm gonna go get something else with Crystal. But at the same time, if I would have went with like I want to win, maybe I would have. But I was more at that time. I was more in a I want to grow that space. So that's where I would go.
I love that.
Me too.
And again, Crystal, my DMs will be in the show notes.
No, they won't be, because guess who does the show notes? Me. Hello.
Yeah, but guess
The only episode where it won't be.
We just randomly put DJ's DM, and they're just like, hey, DM DJ.
No, I'll steal the podcast login and put them in there myself.
Oh, gosh, no.
Just apply on the show next year and talk directly to Crystal.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Like, forget everyone else, just talk to Crystal.
See,
even though I'm in New York.
See, DJ, you just gotta move.
Do y'all think we're gonna get the girl who's like, I'm a senior citizen next year?
I think so. I honestly... I was saying I would love to see, like, more people who do, like, drag like me, like, who are, like, the things / more, like, the female doing more female/thing drag. Yeah. I would love to see more of those on next season, so...
Also, embrace the old people. Because Barbada can't do it by herself.
Oh, DJ.
That's a young guest of the judges.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't you know that? DJ is shook right now. DJ has no clue what to do.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
And that was a problem during the roast, because a bunch of people on set thought that too. And at one point, I don't know if it's Crystal or Peppermint, but we will hear a lot of, Barbada is old, Barbada, and then they will just turn around and be like, you know Barbada is the youngest of them all. It's like...
DJ's like, I'm out. Bye. He's leaving.
You can go, it's fine.
Leaving.
We're going to continue, Makayla and I.
Yeah, we'll just continue the podcast without you, DJ.
Anyway, next question.
Getting back into the thing. So, obviously, we saw a lot of lovely fashions from you. But we want to know, you can pick multiple if you'd like to, or just one, your choice. But what was your favorite outfit that you wore on the show?
Oh my god. There's different reasons, but the one that I was the most excited to wear was the catfish, for sure, because y'all know why.
The catfish was gorgeous.
Stunning.
Yeah. I spent a lot of fucking money on that. So I was like, you cannot eliminate me. I spent so much money that the story producer, the first day on set, before saying hi, she just said, it's the broke queen. I was like, how do you know that? She's like, I talked with the person who did your outfit. Supposedly, you spend a lot. I was like, so I just answered, yeah, so you cannot eliminate me before that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll be going to my room. Thanks.
That's funny. And so the catfish, obviously for obvious reason, but it's also like on top of the fact that it's very beautiful, there's so much layers. That's so much layers that like I love to listen to the podcast, to the reviews, because I was like, y'all not getting it. Like you're far from the all layers. Like the catfish kind fish, catfish, and catfishing the fish was a joke at first, but then I was like, that kind of that for real.
Very that.
So like it was like the fish in the water that's called the catfish, but also everything was like starting without any fur, and the more you go up, the more fur there was. So like I was transforming into a cat, and like it's a glamour catfish because people who are catfishing are always beautiful when they show themselves. So I could not go with the monster, you know. It's all those layers. I love that, and I want to say that I love the concept of Phoenix that week. No one understood, but I was there with her. I was like, "This is so good. There's so much layers. I love it. I needed."
You needed to say that. No, I
But
think
the coffee cup was yes, I was.
I love
The coffee cup as well was exciting because I did it myself. Oh my god!
You're like, I get to wear this, yay! No,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things about doing this podcast is getting the opportunity to hear like the stories behind the outfits because it's like obviously we see what we see, right? We don't understand exactly where people were coming from with their designs and stuff like that. And so it's really cool to be able to hear that kind of thing because now I'm like looking back in my mind and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like I get it. Like I understand.
And it's like again, I put a disclaimer now. I won't say it 15 times. I understand we're doing a TV show. I signed a contract. I knew where I was going. I knew the edit would be in their end. I have nothing to say against that, but I would have loved to see more description of the runway. Like, I know that in the beginning it's impossible, but like in the end, like in the finals, we heard a lot about Makayla's background story behind the outfit, which was amazing. Like even in real life, this outfit was like 15 times better than what she said. She looked so good. I love that. And then it's like, I am sitting on a cloud that is lighting.
That is kind of what it sounded like.
But there was so much layers on this one too, and like that's I said it on my Instagram today, but like it was like the cloud for the gods, and then the weather, and then all the sparkles was before because tabarnak the sparkles believe that. The sparkle was because I always use the fucking sparkle emoji. And after 28 days lockdown, you don't have any inspiration anymore. Just like, so those were the three things in my head. And I was like, that's nice. But in the end, I was like, I know it's not like a big touching story, but at least you understand why I'm just like this.
Still, at least let me explain myself.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes into the next question, which is if you could go back and change anything in the competition, would you? And if you would, why? And not winning doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I'm a happy loser. No, the only thing I would change, and I would have changed it before leaving. I knew all about that. It's the only outfit that was a bit lacking, which is the Pokemon. I won't change the Pokemon. I would just add like a half skirt, like huge train at the back. I would have. I don't know why I stopped rhinestoning. Like I had time. I had rhinestone. Like I'm mad. I rhinestoned the whole fucking thing until like a fucking straw in an iced coffee cup. And why didn't I rhinestone in AB stones the white and then put some or at least just fully rhinestone the triangle?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
don't
get
know.
that.
There was no fucking rhinestone in that. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
You made a
That's
decision.
something I would upgrade, not change. I would just upgrade it. But in the end, I'm very proud of the package I brought, of what I did. I did way more than what I thought I would do. Like the dancing challenge, you didn't see it all, but like That was something. I cried for 2 hours. No one knows that. I cried for 2 hours on stage and never showed it. Well, in fact, if you watch the dancing challenge again, because my defense mechanism is I laugh, and then I cry. So if you watch the dancing challenge again, the first shot you see of the old dancing challenge, we're all sitting in front of the panel, the judging panel, and it's this shot is after I rehearsed with Imara. I'm sitting like I have my arm on the judging panel and I'm like, that's very mad. And then when I rehearse, I laugh. And when they cut, that's where I started to cry.
Love that.
So when they are all like, you pushed through, blah, 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 that was because I fucking cried. And then I kept up and I succeeded. So even all of this, I won a rose.
You did.
Francophone, I won a rose without any cards, without anything. Like,
Exactly.
I did more than expected, so I don't regret anything.
That's awesome. I mean, I love the fact that you are so confident in your entire package and everything that you did on the show.
I like to be prepared. I love to think about my things and like just concentrate on what's happening now. So when I left, I was like, everything needs to be done. But I knew I could rhinestone in my hotel room for a week, so I was like, I will keep some things to do. But I arrived really like some people arrived and had to rhinestone things on set or sew something. You never saw that neither, but I was annoying in the mothership because half of the time everyone was working on their things and I was just like, because I'm hyperactive, so that didn't help. I was just running with my wigs and putting them on everyone's head. I was like, oh my God, we all look the same. And they were all like, just go away, we're working. And I was like, I have nothing to do.
You're like, I need something to do. Let me do it.
Please entertain me.
I feel like that would be very me too. Like, I'd be so prepared. It'd be like all good to go. And then they'd be like, okay, so you have this amount of time to do things. And I'd be like, well, that's great, except for I'm done. So, like, what do I do now?
The funny part was I was ready the whole time. Like Phoenix's Pope outfit, I rhinestoned the whole thing. I had nothing to do. I was just like, I'm going to do that. And the only day that I had something extra to do was the straw, because I arrived without the straw. My idea was that I was the straw, but then Peppermint was like, why are you dressed as a root beer? So Crystal was like, we need a straw.
Why are you dressed like a root beer?
Yeah.
She said, I don't understand this iced coffee moment.
No, we needed a straw. So I was like, I'm going to have time to do the straw. It's not long. And then they shut down the mothership like an hour before, and I had to do it in my own time.
Well, it got done, and it made sense, so that's good.
Yeah.
So obviously, we have the lovely top 4 that we do. However, if you could change or bring someone to the top 4 with you, is there anyone that you would bring with you?
Well, the easiest one that we all say, and I will always stand by that, is Imara, just because she was, she was the one, she was a front runner at that point. And like, there's a bunch of things you don't see in the first episodes because it's very focused on families, but we could see who were, like, if you want to do a drag race track record, it was easy to be like, you won top, and then high, like it was kind of easy at that point. And there's also like a bunch of things that happen. Obviously, we're a family, we're working together with the mom. So in the end, she sees things backstage, the way we interact with each other, the way we work in team and everything. And that came into consideration at some point at that moment. So I was surprised because Imara was the one who did, well, I don't know because I wasn't in their family, but like from my perspective, she was the one who did the most in this challenge. I was like, it's weird that the one who sacrificed in the end without even choosing it is the one leaving. So that felt very weird. And yeah, it's I feel like it's kind of a moment where she was never in the bottom really, and she just went home. So that's why I feel that. But everyone, like Jenna, I saw Jenna as a threat since the beginning. Obviously Maya was like, Maya backstage on the dancing challenge was like, I'm going home, I know. And I was like, my brain couldn't process that. I was like, you cannot go home on a dancing challenge and sit there. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way. So the cast was so strong. It was so strong.
It really was. Oh, also, I want to ask you a question. So, I've heard about all this, like, weather in drag, and I'm just like, you really do the, like, so we have, like, rain coming in from, like, the northeast. Like, you do that in drag?
Not every day, because
Oh,
like
okay.
right now there's a huge storm in Montreal right now, like in Quebec. So tomorrow morning I'm going in, but out of drag to cover the storm.
Okay.
But during Pride, we did it during Halloween this year. I do a forecast. It depends. Every year we change what we do, but I always do a forecast for like 30 to 50 seconds of like, this weekend is the parade. Let's go out, have fun. It's gonna be 25
love
degrees.
that.
Blah, blah.
Yes. Okay, that's, like, really amazing. I need to, like, find someone to get on that, because I need that in my life.
It's on my social. Just find my search Jessie Precieuse on Facebook more than on Instagram for that, or my boy name. I'm gonna send it to you. I wanna. Who am I? I won't tell you my boy name. I've been doing TV for 10 years. You can find me in 5 seconds.
Yeah, you can.
I love that. I'm not gonna say here. I'll send it to you. But I mean, I've been doing it for so long, so like you'll find it
You
easily.
guys can do the work, yeah.
Just did.
Oh, that's too good. All right. So, obviously, unfortunately, you did not win, which we've been laughing about this whole entire time. But like, no, nice, good one. Thanks, thanks for that.
I love you. I'm
I
kidding.
love you too.
Like, say that one more time.
Yeah. One more time, I'm out. Anyways,
That with the ring too. It's just like,
classic.
yeah. Sorry, I
Anyways.
just have something in. What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry, keep
Yeah.
talking.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is that, however, you should feel like a winner anyways, because you have done such incredible things for the drag community, and people will be looking up to you for a long time. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. Also, we want to give you this opportunity to let us know what is next for Jessie Precieuse.
Nothing. I'm quitting drag.
She said, "I didn't win, I'm out."
I didn't win.
Okay, so
That's what you get.
this is your teaser. Fine. Okay, we can get focused again. So no.
Wait, care.
Honestly, I'm feeling very great, and it's mostly because of what I'm about to say. I didn't realize that I prepare myself only for winning. Not in my head. Like in my head, I was like everything for that, but like without noticing, I placed my cards at the right places as if I would win. So like, this is not lost. So I have a bunch of things that are on the table. Nothing that I used to talk before everything would be confirmed, and I'm 28 years old now, and happened way too much in my life, so I won't say anything precise. But a bunch of shows are coming. I'm working on special shows. We talked a lot about the tour with Pepper and Maya, and we are just going to do that, and that would be very amazing. Like, it could be called something like Pickle My Nuts, the Rob Tour.
I would love that. As long as you come to Vancouver, I'll be down. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, we're really we really want to do that just because we love each other very much, and we're like, what a great opportunity to spend time with each other. So obviously there's that, but there's a bunch of other things on the table. I want to mix drag and TV and myself out of drag. We're gonna see, but I may not have a crown on my head. But it's a precious year. I'm going to say that again, so it's going to be good in the button. I may not have a crown on my head, but it's a precious year in coming. Thank you.
Period.
Cut the check. Weebee. See you later, sis.
Well, I need to talk. Well, he's going to call me after this interview, and I need to convince Weebee to... First of all, give me the 2.5K of the branding challenge. I was second. You already have 25. Like, honestly, greedy bitch. Not that much. I'm gonna maybe try to bargain like half of that boy thing. I'm gonna see what he's gonna get with Wella. Maybe I can exchange all my Wella products for $1,000 check.
Mhm.
I need to do some business.
It's a business
And
deal.
also, without me in the acting challenge, we don't know. Maybe when I went home,
Exactly.
give me some. Give me some. Don't be greedy, Weebee. Don't be.
Oh, I love that so much.
I'm just like I was there just for the money. Give me money. The catfish was expensive.
Period.
Oh my god, help.
Okay. So, just as like a closing question that we like to ask everyone, what words of wisdom do you have for baby drag performers?
Oh my god. I would say what someone said to me before I started, like between the I'm so ugly and the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was doing my makeup when Maya was doing your interview, sitting right here, and she said the exact opposite of what I will say. It's just scared. It's like
He like moved away from the camera. He's like, oh.
Just like,
do I mute? No, Maya was like, go on stage, blah blah, and
Oh, DJ.
oh, okay. I was like, is this not happening? Maya was like, go on stage, do your things, blah blah, and I got told, wait. I was told, how can I say that? Like, create your persona. Like my persona is very close to my real me, but it's still a persona, you know. Build that, know what you want to bring on the table in the drag community, and when you're ready and you know that it's what you're going to bring to the table, go on stage. And at first I was like, this is very dumb, but I had no choice but to do it because of the pandemic. And then the first show I did, it took 5 seconds and everyone left. Everyone was like, who are you? Where were you? We don't know you and we want to know you. So I was like, oh my God, so it works. And after all this year and this experience, I think I know why, and it's mostly because in the drag community, you're booked by your peers, and in the end, you're performing in front of those people a lot or not a lot, but in the end, people who will book you will see you. So if you go on stage and you're not 100% ready, or you're just not sure of who you are, it will show, and those people are going to be like, "Oh, let's wait 3 months before booking this person." But if everyone is like, "Let's wait 3 months before booking this person," when are you going to be booked? Never. So I think that's why, but that's my opinion. I know it's not the reality of everyone, but like that's what I did and it worked very much. And it's also like now I can upgrade my drag with new things, but my foundations are very strong. And I know if you book me now for in 12 minutes, I know what I can do to present myself as Jessie and not just go on stage to go. So that's my.
Yeah.
And don't spend money when you don't know what your aesthetic is. It's gonna help not having like an overflowing wardrobe and no money in your bank.
Period. I
our
love
drag
that.
sister needs to hear
I was
that
going to say,
one.
our drag sister needs to hear that one. Nathaniel, are you listening? Sorry.
Nathaniel's
I'm gonna say
listening.
another one, and this one is just for me. You don't need shoes that fit with all your outfits, and you don't need a new wig for every outfit.
Nathaniel.
Really, honestly, what she needs to hear. So.
But that was also for me. Do you? Can I? Okay, wait. This is just my living room.
Okay.
Wig.
Wig.
Luggage, wig. You know.
Wig.
So calm down on the wigs, people.
Chill out a little bit. All right. So I think that's all the questions we have, but obviously we want to give you a moment to let everybody know where they can find you on the socials. So go ahead, plug yourself.
Oh my god, you can find the most precious queen in Montreal, mostly on Instagram, because I'm an old bitch and I got tired of Facebook after 15 years. So I'm on Facebook, but like go give a follow, but it's the same thing as on Instagram. My handle is Jessie Precieuse. Take a pencil. Perfect. Take a paper.
Is there an accent?
Perfect.
Is there
You're ready?
somewhere-
Perfect. So I'm gonna spell it. Write it down. Jesspreciuse.
Beautiful.
Jessie Precieuse.
Woo!
Oh, and I wanna also say to the person who's running the wiki fandom page, there's a francophone in that because the person understood the pun in my French name. So kudos to you.
Kudos to them.
Come on, DJ, you can do it. You can do it.
Now I'm gonna be
Okay,
thinking
so-
about it.
There's
Do
a
you know
pun.
it, Makayla? You don't know it?
No.
Okay, you speak French, and it's an easy French sentence. Like, so, Jessie Precieuse.
Oh, I get it. I
Go
get
ahead.
it. I get it.
Go ahead.
No, I don't wanna say it.
Go ahead.
Well, because Jessie is just sweet. And then
There you
Precieuse,
go.
so I am precious. I get it.
I am precious.
I get it.
And I'm stupid. No, I'm kidding.
But stupid can make you
Yeah,
be in the
exactly.
final of a TV show.
Queen of stupid.
All right. I think that is all the time we have today, but we want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and we hope that everything
for
that you
having me.
do in the future is successful and makes you very happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for covering the whole season. That was very nice. You did very great. I was very happy to listen to your podcast every Sunday.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next interviewee for the We Are So Not Straight finale, her name is Makayla, and her gowns are always couture. It's Makayla Couture!
Yes. We are so glad to have you back on the podcast. For people who don't know, who haven't been keeping up with our podcast, Makayla was actually our first guest on the podcast. So this is very fitting that she is on our season finale. So very excited about that.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. All right. So for the people who did not listen to the original podcast, which if you did not do that, you should be going to do that after this episode, but that's fine. Anyways, if for those who did not listen to it, can you give us a little bit of a quick rundown on like your background on drag and also why you auditioned for Call Me Mother?
My background in drag, I'm a human being that seen art and was like, let's do it. No, literally, I just started in theater school and I was like, this seems really cool and it encompasses everything that I love from theater, dance, makeup, fashion. It included all of it. So I was like, this is exactly where I need to be. And now here we are in the finale of Call Me Mother and lost.
Well, I mean, but you got to the finale, so that's an accomplishment, right? I feel like you're a winner.
I feel like no matter what, even when I like stepped in there, I already won. I'm really happy with how everything played out.
Yeah. And then why did you audition for Call Me Mother, just for like a little bit of background on that as well?
I was bored.
We get into detail on that on the last episode because she literally said, when we were off the air, she literally said to me, she was like, I feel like this conversation is going to be weird because I'm just going to be like, I was bored and I decided to audition for it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I literally was like, we were literally ending literally like halfway through our pandemic. And I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want to be here. Like, let's go film a show and do drag.
Got me on TV. Like, yes. Oh my god, okay, I'm living. So, the next kind of just like base question is, what was your first impressions of the cast and the set?
The first time I seen the set, I was like, wow, it was weird seeing it from like, at home, you're watching it on the TV, on your laptop or whatever, and then actually being there, and not realizing how much like larger the stage is, or even like the mothership like got such a big upgrade, and it was like really, it was really interesting to be there. I forgot the other question, so I'm gonna wait.
What was your What was your first impression of the cast?
My first impressions of the cast was, wow, I can't wait to send you home.
Period.
She said, "I am here to win."
I am here to win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me my crown. The
Yeah.
end.
Generally, I came in and I was like, I like pop out and meet people, but that's not my priority. Which ended up ironically being like such a big thing. I ended up falling in love with every single person on set, and it was harder each time for each like elimination. They didn't show it, but almost every single time someone was eliminated, I was like the first person to like run over to them and just like give them the biggest squeeze and let them know that like they're a star. I love them, and like this is not the end. So I love everyone in the cast.
That's awesome. So obviously, again, going back to the other podcast, Makayla goes into detail about how House of Dorset was her first choice, and I mean, pretty much her only choice. I mean, where else would she have been? However, if you had to choose one of the other two houses, which house would you pick and why?
Maybe Barbada. I feel like she might closely align with like my drag style. I can't see it. I couldn't see it any other way. So like that's like such a tough question, but maybe Barbada, possibly.
If you had to, I mean, it was obvious you were going to be in Dorset. So.
I think I want to change that. I think it would probably be Crystal, just because like I have such a like chill, like straight face, kind of like that's just my vibe. I'm just like very like, oh whatever, and like something about Crystal just seems like, yeah, whatever, cool.
You're like, I would fit. You're like, I'd fit. It'd be fine. We'd get there.
Yeah.
So this one, you can have multiple answers. What was your favorite outfit that you wore on Call Me Mother?
Everything.
Okay, if you had to pick a top 3, what would you pick?
My top 3 would be my entrance, my Queer Joy, and my finale.
Okay. The finale was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And well, like that kind of is our next question. Yes.
Where? Yeah, that is kind of our next question. We wanted to ask you about, you had such a great vision for your finale gown. Can you explain more about that vision and if it came out exactly how you were thinking or that kind of stuff go into it?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started, that was not going to be what it was. So we had an extra day to sit with the salon team and kind of like tell them like what we're looking for, what we want. And I had brought 2 different designs, and they originally, the Thug Life was not going to happen. And that's because I didn't explain what Thug Life meant. So they, as Caucasians, were just like, no. And so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to, do this other thing. And I don't even remember what it was. But then when we go in for filming, one of the questions they asked me were like, oh, so like, what does this mean? And so I told them about it, and they were like, oh, fuck, okay, wait, we have to put this on. So that's kind of how it came to be. And originally, it was going to be spray painted on the dress. But then I was like, I hate that. Let's not do that. Yeah. And we ended up doing the belt. And I just loved how much it was like very elegant, but also was like juxtaposed with all this like very Black references, which is something I pride myself on.
Yeah.
The belt was giving me like the Chanel kind of. Makayla, what was that?
I was
the We Are So Not Straight Makayla.
me, Makayla, not you, Makayla. That's the funny thing about this. Everybody's listening. They're like, why are you saying this to Makayla Couture? No, it's to me. I'm also Makayla, so it's even funnier.
No, but the belt was giving me like Chanel. It was giving high fashion. I was living for it. I was like, this is the one.
Yes, we said in the podcast that we didn't think there was another outfit that would have like encompassed you. Like it was very you. It was tying back to your purple that you wore in your original outfit, and so it was very you and also just stunning. Like period. So
thank you. That's literally like why I chose that color. Like everything about that outfit relates to something that happened during the competition or something that's related to me, like from the cone bra relating to the dance challenge that I like fucking loved, and I murdered. But you know what?
Yes.
That's besides the point. But everything was referenced to the whole season.
Yeah.
I love. Makayla, do you want to?
No, it's your turn.
It is?
It is.
Okay. We're so, like...
We're very organized. Maybe our finale episode, but we are
so.
very organized.
Yeah. So a little bit, this kind of goes back to a beforehand question, but what was it like working with the Call Me Mother crew?
You know, okay, I think am I back? Are we done?
Yes, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say this quickly before it, like, freezes out again. But I think that everyone on production was nice. There were just a lot of flaws when it came to making sure that we all were comfortable. And I think that the show doesn't yet know exactly who or what they are, because we were told going in that the show was about, like, that they were really focusing on growth and, like, actually making sure that you guys all learn. And that was not the case at all. I don't think anyone actually left learning anything about themselves or about drag as a whole. We all kind of, like, did that work after dealing with a lot of inner hurt, and that's unfortunate, but also just like it's something I wish that they work on for the future season, if there is one.
That's a fair way to answer it for sure. I mean, everybody's exactly, but everybody's different, right? So that's one person's experience might not be someone else's experience, and so I think it's fair to answer it that way for sure. So going back into the competition, obviously we saw an amazing run from you, and you make it all the way to the finals, as we know and love. However, if you could go back and change anything in the competition, is there something you would change, and if so, why?
No.
No?
I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything only because I put my all into everything, and there's something interesting about this competition because no matter how much I tried, no matter how hard I proved everyone wrong and what they thought I was going to do going into it, I was still kind of just, I don't know, I felt like it was always like, well, you just are not good. Like, that's kind of just like how the atmosphere felt. It was like, oh my God, yay, like you really killed it in the row, but we're still going to put you in the bottom. And it was just like, okay. Like, it didn't necessarily make complete sense to me. And then, you know, we do the Wendy Williams thingy. And, like, even with that, I've forgiven Justin from here, but it was just, like, a lot of things that just happened that I felt were unprofessional, really inappropriate, and were continuously setting me up to fail no matter how hard I pushed myself to try. So I'm happy with everything I did, and it's just unfortunate that they didn't see all the work I did.
I know Makayla and I definitely saw it even through our TV lens. I think this top four, gave it their all, and they put their blood, sweat, into. And not saying other competitors didn't, but production sent them home. But this top four, definitely just they gave it everything, and it really did show to the viewers at home.
Absolutely.
Oh, is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay. So, with this top four is obviously incredible, but if you could have other performers up there with you, who would you bring?
Amara, immediately. I think Amara is fucking amazing, and I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. Like, I think that she was definitely robbed. That challenge made absolutely no sense at all. And I feel like they knew that it made no sense too, because they would tell us, and this happened a lot during the season, they would tell us one thing and then judge it completely differently. And something that happened that I am very vocal about, and Weebee already knows that I love them, and there's a lot, but during the challenge that Amara was sent home in, the House of Harmony were read so badly, and it was just like, okay, cool, like there's a possibility that at least a skill set will be safe. And then to have Amara go home, it was just like, that was kind of like the moment I knew. I was like, okay, yeah. This is has nothing to do with drag at all.
No, I was definitely gagged when Amara went home. Like, she is so gorgeous. She performed the fuck out of that superhero like challenge. Like,
she did.
Makayla and I were just kind of sitting there, and we texted each other. We were like, "So Amara went home," and we were like, "I guess."
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were shook. I mean, there was a couple of times we were like super shook. We did not see it coming. The first was Stony Mac. When Stony Mac went home, we were all like gagged. Everybody was gagged, pooped and gagged. But then yeah, Amara going home that early was a shock, a shock to the system.
Yeah.
Awesome. So obviously, unfortunately, you did not win. However, like we said before, we feel that everybody in this group of four are winners, especially in our eyes. We've very much appreciated everything that all of y'all have been doing for us and making sure that we get our podcast out there so that everybody can hear your guys' voices and hear everything about the wonderful show that is Call Me Mother. But obviously, we want to know what you are doing now and what you are going to be up to in the future so that everybody can find you. So what are you going to be up to?
A lot. There's way too much to put into one podcast. I literally leave in like a few days for DragCon UK, so that's going to be really fun. I have a few movies that I'm going to be filming in the upcoming year. I'm going on a few tours. There's a lot. And I'm really excited to share it with everyone. So just follow me, Makayla Couture on Instagram, and you'll find out.
There you go.
Okay. So as a kind of tie it all together question that we like to ask. Wow, my brain stuttered for a second. Sorry. What words of wisdom do you have for any baby performers that are listening?
I feel like I've said it all already, but I will say it again. Just believe in yourself. Like, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to. Be your number one fan and keep on killing it because you have everything you need to do to become successful. The first thing you decided to do was to become a performer, and that's already the biggest step. So if you can overcome that, you can literally overcome anything. You will make it to wherever you need to be, as long as that you believe in yourself and you put in the work to do it.
I love that.
I love that.
All right. I think that's all the questions that we have for you, but we just want to wish you the best, and we hope that everything that you do in the future is going to be amazing and successful for you, because we know it's going to be. So I don't even have to wish it because I know it will be, but
Thank you, my lovelies.
All right. We are so lucky to have one of my favorite people on the podcast today. They have become a wonderful friend of mine, and they are also the winner of Call Me Mother Season 2. Everybody, please welcome Weebee.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. We are so excited,
I'm so excited to be here. No, I'm truly so excited to be here. You folks have been doing the best job reviewing our show, other than when DJ wants to talk about my lace. We'll get to it. But I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you for supporting our show through this entire season and just contributing to the awesomeness that it is.
Yes.
How are we this morning? How's everyone doing?
I'm good.
Oh, spoiler, it's morning.
I was about to say spoiler, we're filming early in the morning today. Oh my gosh. All right, do you want to ask the first question?
Yeah. We're diving right in. Take no prisoner.
we go through
It's
these,
because I know you talk a
one
lot,
after
and I
the other.
figure we're probably gonna go on tangents. So
Me?
Makayla said you talk too much. That
I didn't say you talk too much. I said you talk a lot. There's a difference.
Oh, you know what? I take it. Like, oh, we're already getting on a tangent. First tangent, we haven't answered a question. The question hasn't even been asked. But the place that I was doing the viewing parties, there was a couple nights where they had events after the viewing parties, and specifically they were like, just so you know, you only have about 45 minutes of pausability time today. I was like, I have to cut my talking throughout the episode to 45 minutes? Okay.
I mean, I
guess
love
I'll just
watching
be
you.
silent.
I love watching you
Yeah.
realize that you want to pause something, and you're all the way on the other side of the room, and you do your little like run, and you're like, just a second, just a second, just a second, just a second, as you're like running to the thing. And I'm like, okay.
Weebee run is like a very common theme throughout my drag. I am generally running. Okay, question. Let's get in.
First question. Let's go all the way back to Weebee's beginning. How did you first get into drag?
Oh, like the early days.
The early days.
Yeah, the early days.
Well, my drag origin story, I think, is perhaps similar to one of you, but I am a quarantine queen. I was a little COVID baby. I was living with my partners and now 2 best friends at the time, and we were all big drag fans. Had been watching Drag Race since it started in whenever the frick it did start. And so every week in the pandemic, we were sitting, I think that was season 1 or 2 of Canada's Drag Race. We were living, no, it was season 1 because Scarlett Bobo's season. It was Gigi Good's season on Drag Race. And so we were watching a lot of drag. I think there was All Stars going on too. And we were just trying to fill our time. And one day we were like, well, I guess we should try drag. And so we like zoomed in a couple friends and we all painted our face. There are photos from the day, and it was thumb McThumb of all thumbs. But that was like the first day we did drag, and me and one of my partners really, really took to it. We were like, oh, this is the stuff. And so we started to make it a every couple day thing. And we just continued to paint. And then that would have been kind of late spring of 2020, I think. No, late spring of 2021. I don't know. My times are off. Either way, so we started painting our face, and then I just kind of kept going and kept doing it. And then when we went into like second lockdown here in Vancouver in 2021, and then I was doing my bachelor's of education, and I got even more into it, where I was like, okay, every single Monday I'm going to try a different look, I'm going to try a different eye and see what fits, because I still wasn't really like comfortable with how I looked to go out and drag. I wanted to feel like this is a signature, this isn't someone else's face. And that's kind of how like the big weedy liner and the black lips and the harsh contour started. And that's the story.
Yeah.
But I performed, like I had 3 stage performances, and then we went back into full lockdown. And after my 3rd stage performance, it was like September 31st. There were still drag shows going on, but they were very, very tight. And I didn't feel super confident because I was like, I've only done 2 or 3 drag shows. Like, there are girls that this is their career, this is their lifeline. I don't want to take up space as someone who has something else going on. And I just wasn't like confident enough in my drag to believe that I deserved the space. So I kind of like put myself back in the drag closet until Call Me Mother reached out.
That's a good segue, because I was about to ask, why did you choose to audition for Call Me Mother? But they reached out, you said.
Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of a funny story. So since I've been doing drag, I think I used the hashtag Vancouver drag or Canadian drag. It was never a hashtag girly until I started doing drag. But I actually got reached out for season 1. And at the time, I had literally never performed live. I had painted my face a few times, and I was like, no, I'm doing my bachelor's of education right now. Like, I can't just quit school and go film a TV show. And I'm not a drag performer. At this time, I did not identify as a drag performer. I was just like, I'm just some friend that likes to paint their face in their house. But then when they reached out to me last year, they reached out to me in like February. They were like, we've been like following your journey since last year. We'd love to see you audition again this year. And I was like, well, I'm a substitute teacher. I've got the most flexible schedule ever. This is something I haven't, like, I'm hiding this in my soul, that how bad I want this and how bad I want to do this, and how much I love this art form. Like, what have I got to lose other than 2 months of work? And so I went through the audition process, and the rest is history.
The shoulder.
Always. Classic.
God.
It's classic. That's the cool thing about like this interview is because I've gotten to know you, so like it's one of those like funny like friend talking things where it's just like obvious things to me now that
Yeah,
you do.
but yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much the story. The audition process went really well. They wanted me to talk, and I did that. And I kind of like, in my gut, I really had a good feeling about how the audition process went. I was a little nervous just about like my aesthetic and my experience. I was like, there's a lot of people that have a lot of experience, but also this show is about new performers, and I was very much that. And there's a lot of people that go on the show that do have drag families, and I literally did not have a drag family. And they took a long time to get back to us, so I was really convinced I hadn't gotten it. And then when they called and they were like, good news, I was like, this is exciting, but also we have 27 days now. So that's a panic.
Yeah.
But
Yay.
we made it work. We pulled together some crusty lace.
It's a running theme now.
Anyway, I'm not doing this. I'm leaving.
Good.
Anyway. Bitch!
I knew you were gonna say that.
Makayla,
too.
give me those Discord kick permissions.
No.
Oh,
Ahem.
all
Well,
love.
what were your first impressions of the set and the cast when you first walked in?
First impressions of the set. That is a tough one because so like when we got there, we basically were like immediately shuffled into. I think it's come up on the podcast, but like our cubies. So basically just like our little curtain holes, and they were like maybe 8 feet by 8 feet. Like that might even be generous. There were these small little curtain holes made of scaffolding, and we just sat there, and we sat there for like maybe an hour and a half with every performer, but we couldn't talk to each other. I had Noof on one side of me and Shady on the other side of me, and I was like kind of like I could see Noof moving, like I could see shadows, and I was like, hello, hello. And so being locked in that room, I had like my cross stitching, I had my little embroidery project and my book, and I was like trying to stay busy, but I was way too nervous and excited. And then we all stepped out, and there was 15 of us, and most of us were gagged. But Makayla goes, "Yep, yeah, we knew this. I think there's 3 people going home today," and that was how we started off our day.
Makayla!
She knew. She just was like,
Makayla knows all. She is the sorcerer of incredibility. Yeah, Lord knows, a woman with power. And so we like went up to the mothership. It was very hot. I'll give you that impression because it's like we were in a curling rink. That's where we were filming.
Performers and no AC. That doesn't mix well.
Well, that's why like in the mother shirt, I am mother shirt. In the mothership, when we're painting, I'm most always shirtless, or like you can see that there's like a house coat draped around me because I was literally always like in shorts and nothing else painting my face because I was so hot. But yeah, I mean the set, I don't think there was any huge shocks. I will be honest. Coming back for season 2, I was like, oh, they'll probably like change things, elevate things. And I know I've been told that the space that we were filming in was a lot nicer than the space before, because they were doing it in high school before. And it didn't feel like a gross, dingy space by any means, but I was ready for like a little bit of an elevated stage or a little bit of an elevated desk. I do think it reads a little bit nicer this year. I don't know if that's lighting, and they snapped on lighting. I don't know if you would agree, but I think the way they lit us on the runway is beautiful. So no shocks really there. And then when it comes to the cast, all I remember from that day one was I was sitting beside Kingchella, And I was like, this bitch fucking hates me. She is not down for this chatty Cathy. But we actually had like a really fun kind of discourse, and me and King really love each other, and it was beautiful because like, I mean, it wasn't beautiful that she went home, but that night when we were in our hotel, they came to my room and we just kind of like chatted and lived about the sadness that we're not going to get to know each other anymore, because they were like, I was really excited to meet your annoying ass and like have fun with you, push you around. So I remember that just really bothering Kinchella. And I remember just looking across the room at Amara, because Amara was like a table away from me on like facing each other. And here I am painting my face with Wet n Wild stick foundation. And Amara was just like snatched. And Lord, maybe she hadn't even put on makeup at that moment. I was just like, you are really the most beautiful human being I've ever laid my eyes on. How in God's name am I going to do this? How am I going to compete against people like you? So my first impression of the cast was like, oh yeah, no, I really am the newbie here. I am the underdog.
Everybody loves an underdog, though. So
Yeah.
Killer queen.
not bad.
The amount of people that have been like, one, like when they released the cast photo, even I was like, probably going to be you that goes home first.
Okay, we'll see
Wow.
about that.
That didn't
Give
really
them a
work out for
storyline.
them.
Give them a
I mean,
storyline.
15 people. Like, everyone is so incredibly amazing that, like, it just wasn't right to have, like, the 3 people go home first.
No, I guarantee if they do a season 3, that will not happen again, just based on how it's been received. I think it's pretty common knowledge that has not been received really well. And it was really devastating for all of us. I can't speak on behalf of the 3 artists that went home first, but what I will say is those 3 artists are freaking booked, and they are working, and they are 3 of the most talented individuals I've ever like worked with. I know Makayla came to the show when we had Noof in Vancouver, and I genuinely don't know if I've ever seen an audience so captivated by an individual performance. They are just top tier and working so hard. So I look forward to more working with all of the cast. But yeah, it was like, I think also this is common knowledge, but this season's cast was incredible. The talent of this show was like, what?
Yeah, we even said that. We were like, the talent, amazing on this season, like incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not to discredit season 1 at all, but like they did really elevate. I think there was over 500 people that auditioned for this season, because the season captured an audience. And we had, I think this has probably come up on the podcast, but our premiere episode had 10 times the views as season 1.
Really?
So like people are excited about Call Me Mother. Yeah.
Yay! Oh, I'm so glad.
Which is good news. Well, because I think last year it wasn't streamed in the UK. Don't quote me on that. But this year it's been available in the UK through Fruit TV. So I think that really extended our audience as well.
Yeah. All right, so obviously we find out that you are in the House of Harmony, but our question is, was House of Harmony your first choice?
Yeah.
The fan, yes, come on, fan.
Was House of Harmony my first choice?
Yeah.
No.
Who was?
I mean, I think this also like read very clearly. I showed up with a goal, and it was to be in House of Glass. I was like,
Yes.
Mama Crystal, I want to be
Crystal.
in your house. You like Crystal was a drag inspiration for me before the show aired. Like watching her on her season do drag with a hairy chest, I was like, oh, you're allowed to do that, and kind of just do, even through the RuPaul lens, do drag in her own way was really inspiring. And her makeup, I mean, and it just gets better and better too. Like, I get distracted by Crystal's makeup all the time.
Crystal.
So I really wanted to be in Crystal's house. But I am so glad everything worked out the way it worked out, because if I had been in Crystal's house, the likelihood of me sitting here today would probably not be that way, right? Everything works out for a reason. And I loved being in Barbados House. Like, I've said this a multitude of ways. Like, Barbada did kind of allow me just to do my own thing, and she was there to support me and, like, sew a bow onto my boot and say yes to, like, she always said yes to my ideas. She was, like, very, very firmly in my court. That's a sports reference, like, if you're not familiar.
Wait,
But
what's
she
the
was
sport?
cheering me on, rooting, tooting me. And I really did. I'm so glad everything worked out the way it did. But yeah, no, Crystal, I did talk to Crystal the day after adoption day, or like very close to, and she was like, I very much like wanted you in my house. Like, I had picked up my fan. Okay, don't quote me on that. She might not have said she wanted me in her house, but she talked about the fact that she was considering putting me in her house, and she had picked up the fan during my performance. But she was like, I wanted to take you to tea. Like, I wanted to know more about you. And Barbada obviously clickety-clacked and snatched the Weebee. But today we found out on Instagram that Crystal actually didn't put me in her house because she didn't like my name, which, like, girl, same.
Yeah,
And that's why we
yeah.
changed it.
That's
If you
why
have been,
I agreed.
if you don't follow me on Instagram, listeners, I did go through a name change. Feel free to head up my Instagram. It's highlighted in my stories. Always love to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the tea. Loved my house. Definitely thought I was going to be in House of Glass, but wouldn't want the Rosie storyline. So glad I didn't get put in it. So Peppermint, I was just like, there's no chance. Like, that's not going to happen. But I ended up like really bonding with Peppermint, and I really, really enjoyed my time working with her. And I was so glad that we got to work together on that one, the acting challenge, because I mean, it's a good thing it was only the one challenge. I don't know if this has come up in the podcast, but the three of us, me, Jessie, and Peppermint, all together, the energy and the volume, unparalleled. Like, the amount of times we got, like, asked by people just to, like, shut up, countless. I mean, that was the day that Makayla and I, like, we never had drama, we never had beef, but, like, Makayla was done with me that day. She was like, I'm not interested. Please get away from me. Because I'm running around with an Australian accent. I was like, fair, valid.
I love that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Also, if anyone is a podcast listener and listens on 1.5, good luck with me, because I already talk at 1.5.
I was gonna say good luck
Yeah.
trying to speed through it. I saw Maya one time was listening to it at 1.5, and I was like, oh gosh, when Weebee comes on the podcast, good luck.
Isn't
No,
Alvin
not that.
Good luck with that.
Literally.
Anyway, what was your? Okay, you can give us like a top 3 if you have multiple. But what was your favorite look that you wore on Call Me Mother?
Ooh. It's a toss-up between two. So I can't choose which one it is. But my Miss Frizzle runway just meant so much to me. And, like, the story behind it, I in the episode, I don't think a ton of the story made it behind it. It was kind of like, I'm a teacher, safe sex, yay.
Yeah.
But I sat in that interview room and, like, sobbed talking about this look, and talking about how we need queer educators and people to look up to as young queer people, which I get the chance to talk about a lot throughout the season, which I'm really grateful for. But I adored that dress. It was so not like my drag, because I went to this show without really having a drag style other than knowing that I like to be grungy, I like to be kind of punk. But since the show, obviously that's changed. My drag is all over the place, and depending on the day, depending on the mood, you're gonna get a different iteration of Weebee. Yeah, I adored that look, the way it came together, the little red Mary Janes. That wig was styled after Bernadette Peters. So me and Donnie, my costumer, who did every single wig and every single look I wore on the show, we sat and just racked our brains about, like, well, who has Miss Frizzle's hair in real life? Because, like, cartoons are one thing, but then bringing them into reality, a totally different thing. And we landed on, or he landed on Bernadette Peters. And the way in which that wig is styled, like, it is a complex style, and it is a gorgeous wig. So I just loved that runway, and being able to have my little Protect Queer Youth at the back meant a lot. Second to that, though, I will say my doll dress.
Oh, that look
Primarily
so nice.
just because that doll dress was so fun to wear and exist in. Like, it was so flouncy, the way that the curls bounced, the way that the crinoline just like soared out when I moved. It was just like the perfect amount of creepy, slutty, adorable, everything about it. Just that was the outfit that like the design just landed so hard, and I just loved wearing it. And like a little homage to my sisters, even better.
Yes. No, I loved that look, and that was the first look that I actually got to meet you in too. So I love that look. Period. In general.
Yeah.
All right. If you could go back to the competition and change anything, would there be something you would change, and why?
I mean, short answer, absolutely not. Because if I changed anything, I might not be sitting where I am today. I would change my name before the show was filmed. But I mean, there's like, I think about the first thing that comes to mind is the plant outfit and how I would change that. But I have since changed it. I made some edits to it, and it's been very wearable since. And I think it was important that I showed that I make mistakes and things don't always work out the way you plan on them. But that runway, I did have quite a few ideas for me and my show, and I really wanted to take the route of making up my own show, because that was an option, but just the way that it worked out with who was left in the competition, I was the only one that had a runway that was making up your own show. Like, I know Noof had made their own show. I don't know who else made their own show, but I know for a fact me and Noof made our own show. But it just kind of looked like I didn't understand the runway, which I'll wear, I'll own it. But other things that we were like tossing up for that runway was I wanted to do something Leslie Knope inspired. So because I'm a huge Parks and Rec fan, and I was thinking like maybe something to do with waffles, like being a waffle server, or just a large waffle, or just being Leslie Knope in drag. So we considered that. For my Canadian girlies out here, sorry DJ, I feel like part of my gay awakening happened during the show Little Toy Castle. If you remember it, it was on Treehouse. It was like a ballet kind of musical theater. There was like dancing frogs. It was very, very peculiar, very camp. And they had a lot of clowns and dolls, but I was so set on doing a clown for Queer Joy that I couldn't do something so similar for Little Toy Castle. So we shut that one down. I did think about doing something Scooby-Doo, because Scooby-Doo was my favorite show growing up, but we ended up landing on
awakening.
What, Fred? Yeah. I was a Shaggy girl, but I think I saw myself in Shaggy because of the green, because of the ginger, because of him just being hot.
Period.
Snaps. Anyway, so would I change anything? No. But if I had to change something, it would have been how I approached the Fun Club. And maybe how I walked for the Not My Drag Christmas. I think I really wanted to try and do like pageant walk, but I don't know how to do that. And it just looked stiff and awkward and uncomfortable. And I think I could have taken like more of like a gorgeous Barbie kind of moment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Holiday Barbie.
Well, that was what it was inspired by, right? Like, I wanted to look like a limited edition Holiday Barbie. But I didn't walk like that. I walked like a pageant girl. The math wasn't quite mathing, but again.
It's like that meme of like the girl with all the math equations around her head, and she's like blonde, and she's like,
yeah, how to pageant walk.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Good meme. That'd be funny.
The memes are done. Memes are out. I'm done making memes.
I loved your memes. They made me so happy. I just gotta say.
So stupid. Find a girl with too much time on her hands. It's not going to be me, but I still committed to making memes. For like the 5 people that appreciated them.
Anyway. So let's jump into the current You Won Call Me Mother. Spoiler alert for anyone who didn't know. I don't know why you're listening. But do you have any plans right now to use your newfound platform?
My newfound platform? Oh my god, do I have a new platform?
I'll say elevated.
Elevated platform.
Yes, T. She is still the least followed girl on the show. Please go follow me at Weebee's Work. But what are my plans? So, firstly, I am taking a little month off in January because I do actually want to sit and make some more plans. If you've been following me throughout the show on the social media, you probably have seen I have been working very hard in drag to build a career, because it's said so many times that like being on the show is one thing, but it's what happens after the show that defines you as an artist and that makes your career. The opportunities aren't just going to come to you. And I've talked about this before. I get talked about a lot in the community, but I think some newer drag performers, and I am a new drag performer, so I'm not creating a divide, but I think there are some newer drag performers that just think drag just comes to you. It just like finds its way to you. But unless you're Makayla Couture and you are the most talented person in the world, you have to make your own opportunities. People aren't going to come knocking down your door and booking you. And so I've been like actively like reaching out to venues, making things happen, hosting brunches, doing all the things, getting experience, saying yes to things that maybe I wouldn't normally say yes to, because you got to just like dip your toes in all the waters and see what fits. But what are my plans now? So January, I'm taking a little break to sit and plan my summer. I really want to do a Canadian Pride tour. So like just hitting as many prides as I can. My goal is to hit 5 prides. We'll see. We like to have bold goals. So I want to do a pride tour. I want to go visit a lot of my sisters over the coming months, but also Canada is gross right now. Like in general, Canadian winters, no thank you. And Vancouver is generally supposed to be the good one, but we're not doing well. So come spring, I definitely want to I'll probably go on to Toronto within the next 2 months, but beyond that, hopefully Calgary/Edmonton, Halifax, all within the spring-ish time. And then I was trying to be not vocal about this because I like wanted to keep it as like my own little thing, but I'm deciding that we're allowed to talk about this out loud because it puts it into the world and also makes me held accountable. I mean, I said this on the show, but drag for youth and drag for children is something I am very passionate about. I know a lot of my drag that I've done isn't child friendly, but we're allowed to do both. It's like going to a party, right? You might be, I just think it's so funny that some people are like, well, if this drag performer has dressed in a harness once, they can't be around children. I'm like,
not for children, girl.
Which is not the case. Yeah. So we live and we love, but I'm really passionate about creating all ages events. I had a meeting yesterday with a bar. Literally woke up the day after my crowning, and at 1 o'clock was having a meeting with a bar about more shows. Like the work never stops, and that's what I like. That's what I want to continue to do. And they were like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing children's events." And I was like, "Okay," but I will create all ages events. But I really want to work on a children's book. I am super, super passionate about children's literature. And I think Weebee's stories are ones to be told. So that is a big goal for me in 2023.
That would be wonderful. I would love that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's, oh my God, please. Like, that needs to happen now. Universe, whoever is listening, make it happen, girl.
Yeah. Dear Whoopi Goldberg.
please, for the love of everything.
Ariana, if you're up there, if God is truly a woman.
In the name of Madonna.
Yeah.
All
Father,
the
Son, and House of Gucci, yes.
Very that.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yes.
For sure.
She has plans. Yes. Also, okay, T, I need to still talk to Toddy, but this is low key, but I really want to do a Vancouver Winners photo shoot. So Toddy, at me.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
Right?
Oh my gosh, I'd actually love that.
Oh, wait, okay. I have like a separate question. Makayla might like cut this out later. But so you mentioned like pride and stuff, and Makayla and I were listening to the episode, and it says the winner gets the chance to be the face of Wella.
What does that mean?
Nobody knows. No one knows. But I'm glad to be considered for the chance.
Who else?
I adore Wella hair products. They're really good. I quite enjoy them. My wig stylist, he's like these are the stuff. We are firm advocates for Wella. They have one product that I like to use in my boy hair. It like makes it shiny and like it looks pretty. But so hopefully they consider me for the chance because I would love to be the face. I know Toddy got a gift package from them and was the face. So at Wella, I'm passionate about your products. Hit me up.
For sure.
Like, don't put that in the episode if it's not like
I'm not sure. I don't know what it means, but
opinion.
I'm here to take it and love it no matter what.
Okay.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I was getting a crown. I just didn't really like cross my mind until I woke up yesterday, the morning after my crowning. And there was an email from production. It was like, here's the tracking number of your crown. It should be arriving today. I was like, wait, a crown?
I mean, you did get your little plastic tiara at the viewing party from your family.
Yeah, my sisters brought me a plastic tiara to my finale party.
It was so cute. It was so. Weebee's literally like losing it, like can't words anything, and then they're just like, "Here's a tiara," and you were like, "Is it there?" And then Donnie just like came over and fixed it for you.
Donnie was like, "Hold on, yep, there we go."
Yep,
well, and the sparklers. Someone brought sparklers to the viewing party, and like they announced me, and then they just hand me fire. I'm like, I'm in a PVC dress right now. This is not the move.
You literally said that too. You literally held
With
it like
hairspray,
this.
like synthetic hair.
Keep the fire away from me.
I love this. Thank you. It's so nice.
Wait, you think my green wig was synthetic? That was human.
That was human?
No. No, I don't wear human.
She's just joking with you.
You wore human for the...
I did wear human for HGTV. I wore human, but that's because we really wanted to give the fantasy.
The fantasy.
And you won't see me in that wig again.
That was a good wig.
It wasn't mine. That Goro and Steel baby.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the look isn't there, you have to have a good wig, so...
See. And that was a gorge wig. I felt stunning. It was so cute when I got off
good.
stage. Because they would inspect us, right? So we do our runway, and then as a house, we'd go and walk in front of the judges panel, like a meter from them, where they'd like ask us to turn. They'd look at all our details, and when I got down, they were like, "Oh my god, it's a wig." They genuinely thought I had just like styled my hair differently and like dyed it or like colored it somehow, and I was like, "No, it's a wig."
It's a wig.
You should
wig
rip it right off. Be like, about that.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I mean, in the moment, I know you were in shock because I was there and I saw it happen. But what did it feel like finally getting that announcement that you won?
Yeah, so shock is definitely, it's a word I can consider, but I also like, I wanted this crown and I worked really hard for this crown. So I don't want to say I'm like shocked because I do think I'm deserving of the crown. But I was surprised just because of the talent that was in that show and the talent that was in that finale. I do think this is a testament to how good this season was. I think any four of us genuinely could have won. Like truthfully and genuinely. You know, sometimes you get to the end of a show and it's like, oh, well, it's not really a question. I think it was a question. It could have...
Definitely.
For real than any of us. And that just goes to show how good the show was this season. But when I heard my name, like if you watch the video of the announcement, like I was not prepared for that. I was really, I mean, nothing can prepare you for that. And we're less than 48 hours into the win. So let it be known, I am still very numb and it still has not set in. Like, the check hasn't been cashed yet, so maybe that's why. But it's just a surreal feeling, and it still really hasn't set in that I won. But yeah, it was very, very cool to be in that room at my viewing party. If you've come to any of my viewing parties, like Makayla can attest, the energy in that room is always so full of love and so just like celebratory of the show. Beyond there being a lot of people there, for me, I think people really have connected with the show and enjoyed watching queer artists share their beautiful, gorgeous art. And that was something that we laid out first thing before the viewing party. Makayla can attest, but I was like, tonight is not about a winner. It's about celebrating how much fun we've had watching the show and the top 4 and how great they are, because I really wanted, no matter what the outcome was, for everyone to be, you know, praised for how incredible they are.
Well, and I can say on that as well, at every viewing party that I've been to of Weebee's, and I've been to 4 of them, so this is real conversation here. There has not been one time that I've gone that Weebee hasn't mentioned the other contestants or said like how much the entire thing is about like celebrating queer art in general. And I thought, like, I even said to DJ, I was like, that's like one of the things that in my eyes made you one of like the perfect person to take on after Toddy, was just because you are very open about making sure that it's about everyone and not just about you, and I thought that was really cool.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I mean, Lord knows I'm an egotistic bitch, and I'm happy to make it about me. But I think when it comes to this show and my experience on this show, like, I'm a bit of an anomaly, but I had an incredible time filming this show. I really had so much fun, and I think that reads in a lot of what I was doing, and that's 100% because of the cast and because of my 14 drag siblings and close friends now. It would not have been what it was without them. And, you know, like, it's funny when you film a TV show competition because there's a winner, but like all 15 of us were members of the cast and were like actors in the show. We all played a huge role in making the show what it was, right? And so it wouldn't be what it is without everyone. And I learned so much from so many of the artists because I think I'm pretty confident to say I was the greenest of that. Well, I mean, that's true. I definitely was the greenest, yeah. But I mean that in a way of like newness. I was very green to drag in comparison to some of the artists, like my sister Pepper, who had been performing for 700 years since the Stone Age.
Oh my God.
Love you, Grandma.
Cave drawings. Yeah, I love that.
But it like, so all of these artists taught me so many things throughout the experience. Like, I can't even begin to describe, like, having Amara teach me how to paint soft, having Jenna show me better glues to use, having, like, it was nonstop from start to finish, the support that every member of the cast wanted to give each other. Like, we did connect, and we, like, our group chat, we live. It's always going off. And I mean, I think you can see even in following all of us, like, there has been so much collaboration through the airing of this show with folks touring to other cities and working together. I haven't got the opportunity to do that yet because I was really firm on like staying home and doing my viewing parties week after week because we had grown a bit of an audience and I wanted to be here for them. But that's what the new year's for. I'm coming for you, Sibbies. Yeah. Siblings.
A word.
Yeah.
A family word.
Family
okay.
word.
So, last question.
What
words of wisdom do you have for a baby drag performer?
Ooh, words of wisdom. Lean into you. We're exposed to so much drag, and it like can get really one note and really like tunnel vision to like what drag is supposed to look like. But like what makes drag beautiful is seeing the expression of the human beneath it come out in reality. So yes, maybe there's like glamour in certain elements of drag, but if your drag isn't glamorous, be seance, fucking terrify the world, be incredible, and like lean into everything that's ever brought you joy, because that's the only way you're going to find joy in your drag, right? I think ask questions. Don't stop trying. Don't try and get stuck into one thing. It's funny me giving advice because I still identify as a baby drag queen. But like put yourself out there, get uncomfortable, try new things, and like hone in on your relationships, because it's your relationships in your community and with other drag performers that are going to skyrocket your career and are going to make room for growth, you know? And also like work your freaking butt off. If you actually want to do drag, it is hard work, and it's not just going to come to you. So be prepared for that.
No, I love that. Such good advice.
Also, don't wear outfits based on shows that you made up. They won't do you well.
Just a little tidbit there.
Yeah. Tea.
All right. So I think that's all the questions that we have today, but we want to give you this opportunity to let everybody know where they can find you. So this is your moment to plug your socials. Go ahead.
My goodness. Well, thank you. So my social is the same across the board. So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and the handle to my website, it's Weebee's World, WeebeeSWOORLD. So that's Weebee's World on all of the platforms, and then www.weebeesworld.com. That is my website. If you are interested in some Gorgina merch, you can find that there. We've got shirts, we've got sweaters. So yeah, hit it up. Hit me up, shoot me a message. Let's have fun.
Yeah, I love that. All right, I think that's all the time we have today, but we just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and we hope that everything that you do in the future is successful and makes you happy.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me in once again. Like, I know we've come to the end of this season, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of the cast for taking time, taking care, loving our show, making it. It's because it's these things in the background that make it so much more special, right? And so I think I can speak on behalf of the whole cast when I say, like, thank you for doing what you folks did, and congratulations. You made it. You made a freaking podcast review show. That's like snaps.
Period.
Thank you. Yeah, and go everyone.
Go everybody. Everybody's winners. The end.
That.